Hello. In this video I'm going to go through the second version I made of the Make Change project, which is why I've called it Make Change Plus. What I've done is I've added a method to do some basic validation to make sure that we're getting an integer, and instead of just printing out the coins as I process them, I'm putting them into a list, and a list is similar to an array, but I'll explain that as I go. So just looking at these first two things here, they're just there because I used them last time. System console, I understand. I confess, system convert, I don't know what that's there for, and I probably should have looked it up. Title at the top. Now, this first thing here is an array, and it is an array of all the values of the coins from largest to smallest, because I want to process them largest to smallest, so I may as well have them in there. You know, if I can pay them with a $2 coin, I'd rather do that than with two $1 coins. This next thing I've got here is like an array, but I discovered that you actually can't, you have to define the length of an array in C#. So I use this thing called a list instead. So this is a list of integers, and in it, it's called return coins, and it's currently empty. Then I've got my price, and I've defined these so that I can use them anywhere in the program. That's why I've put them outside any other loops or things like that. So I've got the price, how much they're going to give me, calculating the change, and you'll notice I'm calculating that as a double, and I've got this thing called enough to make sure that they're giving me enough money, that I'm not calculating negative coins. So this is the method that I built. This is from, where does it start? There to there. So this is the method that I built to hand off the question of asking him a question and getting back a valid integer. So I've called it getNumber, and probably I should have called it getInteger, thinking about that. So static int, because it's going to return an int. GetNumber, now it's going to need one argument, which is going to be in the form of a string, and the name of that string is question. That's what it will be called within this method. So I start off by saying, well, int this number. So this number is currently nothing. Then I'm going to say its valid input is false. So it starts off assuming that it's not valid. So as long as it's valid, it's going to do these things here from lines 22 to 34. Well, it's going to try. Now I actually only encountered try recently. Try is a way of getting it to do something that might actually break the program. But if you use a try, it won't break it. If it breaks or wants to break, it will catch the exception down here in this second part of the statement. So we're going to try writing the question that they've handed to us in the argument. You know, what is the price? We're going to collect this variable here and as a integer. Now, if they give us something else, this is going to fail. So it'll fail right there. And it'll kick off into this exception here because it'll be a format exception. It won't be in the right format. But if all goes well, then we'll still be running here on 28 and we get to say valid input is true. But if it errors out, then we'll get dropped down to here where it gives us this message, please enter a whole number of cents. And we would then just go back into the while loop there. So we wouldn't get to leave this while loop until this doesn't break. So that's what that does, and then it returns, the method returns the number. So let's look at this in action. I want this variable called price, and what I do is I'm calling this method called getNumber, and this is the string that I'm passing it as the argument. So what is the price in cents? Then it will go through all of this palaver here, saying, you know, what's the question? Yep, that's what I passed to it. It's checking all of this, and so I know that what I get back will be a valid integer. Now, I'm going to do basically the same trick down here, but what I'm checking this time is that they've given me enough money. So I'm starting off assuming that enough, which is a boolean I've created, equals false. So I'm starting on the assumption they haven't given me enough money. I then say tender, which is the amount they have given me, and I call that method again. So I could use this 100 times during the program and it would always give me back an integer. That's all it can do, I think. Now that I know that I've got back something valid as an integer, I can see how much calculate the change. And if the change is more than nothing, or nothing or more than nothing, then that's fine. Enough is true. They've given me enough money. But if it's not true, if they bought something for $5 and only gave me $4, well, then I'm going to prompt for them to tender a greater amount. So that's another bit of validation, making sure that it's within the acceptable range. Now, I'm going to tell them what the change is. You'll notice that I am dividing the change by 100, which is why I used a double for the change, so that I could do that with that. And then I'm presenting that with a $sign in front. Now, if you've seen my other video for the simpler version of this, there's nothing really new for this next bit. I'm cycling through the coins. So I'm going to this list up here. Where is it? So I'm going to try the first item in the list, in the array first. The $2 coin. And I'm going to see, where are we? So, I'm counting from 1 to 5. I'm going to try this coin. So I'm saying, yeah, I'm still trying this coin. And I'm going to keep doing this loop here until I've exhausted, until I've flipped that boolean over to false. So I'm no longer trying this coin. So while try this coin is true, I'm going to check if the amount I owe them minus the coin I'm considering is greater than 0. So let's say they've given me, I don't know, a $5 item and they've given me $6. Well, I'm going to check the $2 against that. I'm going to say, well, I only owe them $1. If I try to take 200 cents away from that, it would actually be under 0. So I can't give them a $2 coin. Well, that's fine. If that fails, then I just say, try this coin as false, and then the loop will run again, and it'll increment up to the next number, and I'll try the next coin. But if the coin will do the job, if it actually doesn't push me underwater, I'm not giving them back too much money, then I reduce the amount of change that I owe them. So the change is now equals the change minus whatever coin I'm nominating, and then I'm adding it to that list called return coins. So I did actually think that this was going to be .append, which it is in Python, but it's actually .add is what I got to work in C#. So this list, return coins, I'm adding to it, and I'm adding the value of this coin here that we're considering. Now when I get to the end, I can actually just cycle through all the values in that list using return coins for each. And I actually had a little bit of a tinker and a Google, and it turns out that was a good way to do it with some concatenated text. So it's not really terribly interesting to watch run, if truth be told. So let's try and break it. There we go. So price and cents. Penguin is my price in cents. Please enter a whole number of cents. Fine, be like that. So we know that worked. I'm going to try offering them too little money. That worked. I'm going to try penguin again. Yep, and it just prompts me again. There we go. And it tells me that it's going to do that. So that all works. I hope that's useful. Again, I'd be interested to hear from people about how a video like this could be more useful, and I hope you are travelling well.